and perform my duties
and perform my duties
as a member of the Board of Elections
as a member of the Board of Elections
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
This I shall do as I shall answer unto God.
This I shall do as I shall answer unto God.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You will have to sign.
There's,
one.
one, yes.
We'll give one for each of you all, and I can, and I can bring my.
They still need to.
That's
approve
fine.
the minutes.
Yeah.
We didn't have a motion for that.
We will do that.
Oh, okay.
Mandy, you will do the report. The organization that we have to submit to the
Yes.
state.
Yes, okay. All right, back to the minutes. As corrected, I have a motion to approve.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so now we get to correspondence. Tell us about these directives, Mandy.
All right, we have, well, the first one, as the one we just used, the 2024-27 for our reorganization. The 2025-21, we had it our last year, it was on our last agenda, but I didn't provide copies, so there should be a copy then today. It's the updated election official manual.
Oh, okay.
There's the 2025-22, which is the form of the ballot for this May election. And
Is that what we have here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's a directive that goes with it, the 2025.
Now, let me ask you this, does this mean that it's gonna be a two-page ballot?
Yes.
The other page is,
Well, no, ours is just a front.
Yeah, it's just a front.
Yeah, this is just their sample of what things
Oh,
could look like.
oh, I see, this is there on, okay, and then
Yeah,
ours
that's
will
the
be here.
sample.
Is there gonna be enough room to put all
Yeah.
the stuff?
Everything.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, everything's on the front of one
Okay.
page, so we'll have them.
Yeah, this is just a sample, have it showing those.
And this is what ours
And I
is?
have it later in the agenda.
And this is what ours is gonna look like?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's just the issues down, okay, so. that
which is
will be-
all we have.
All we have,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, both the Secretary of State and Nicole said that since there were no contested races in the primary, we did not have to have partisan ballots.
Partisan ballot, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's was also an advisory 2025-01, which is biennial adjustment of like fees for recounts and campaign finance. And
So what we can charge,
Yeah,
okay.
and we had we actually got it in the mail, adjusted campaign contribution limits. And if anybody wants to look at it.
What did they rank it up to?
I don't really, I didn't look at what the old one was. Let me see if this has the. It's gonna list out the wording in the revised code with it. The English chart.
This is the new list.
But this is just if somebody requests a recount, not if there's an
Right, if
automatic.
it's an automatic,
recount,
there's
we
no
don't charge.
charges,
Okay.
no. And we haven't had a recount, since people have to pay for it, you haven't had anybody actually go ahead and pay.
So now, for a campaign, this is only has to do with party and funds, not individuals,
Right,
right? Okay. All right, you guys want to see that? Have you seen that already? Did they change the individuals?
No.
They did not, okay.
the only thing mainly with an individual is you can't donate more than $100 in cash. And that's the same, that
That's all.
Oh, yeah, I think that's all in there.
Wasn't sure that's the
All right,
contribution.
let's move on to business. I think we've already talked about dropping the contract for the copier.
Mhm.
Did you want to do like an official vote on it?
On what?
The dropping
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I was just gonna
contract?
call for. Did somebody move to drop that contract?
I'll move to cancel or to opt not to renew the contract. Pointers,
Second,
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right,
And then we have, then to approve the balance.
so this is the,
So this is one
those are
for
the issues.
each precinct, there's one for each
Oh,
precinct there, so.
But they're all, well, yeah, some are different, right? Yeah. Oh my.
So this is what our shout outs look like.
So, this has,
Yeah, so it's
our
got-
elections on here then.
Yeah,
It's a
both-
sample of it.
So the state,
Yeah.
I see.
They're all gonna be. They're all gonna be different.
Okay.
Because different townships all living, so.
because some are townships, there's Belgrade and then there's
Townships.
Warren. Oh,
In
yeah.
the city.
Okay.
And then there's fire
Thank
levy.
Thanks for everyone, for you're all on both sides of me and across the room, I think, are keeping me going, so I really appreciate this. So,
And this is the exact language that we approved previously
Yeah,
and has been approved by the Secretary of State and by the prosecutor. Okay.
not all
in
precincts in
the,
Marion.
like I sent it to the entities too, that have things on the ballot and they've printed it off.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they'll have a city school levy and then the statewide bond issue.
Okay.
And I found out, I called Aaron because I went to the commissioners meeting last week. I told them about our grant and they were happy to hear that, obviously. And I said, I found out why this is issue 2. Because they're now starting, any statewide bonds are going to go numerically. So they started with last year's issue 1. And so this is issue 2. So any more state bond issues or
Or
state,
any issues.
any
yeah.
state issues is going to be,
And this is for the biennium or something? I mean, why?
that's just the.
You mean like forever?
Forever.
So we might have
We will
issue
have
bond
issue
issue
972.
64 or 323
Oh, my
years.
goodness.
Oh,
That's,
my.
I understand, that's how Aaron
Well, and
explained
that way
it
you
to
don't have to
me.
worry about the year.
They said they
I mean,
did
I
this because issue 2 in the primary last year was completely different of what issue 2 was in the general last year. And they said that confused voters.
It did.
It
That,
did.
I see.
I guess I could see that.
That's good.
So that's why they're
All right.
going
So sequential.
consecutively or
Okay.
And I guess if you look them up. you know,
sequentially.
All righty. I guess I need a motion to approve those ballots.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. All right, the machine allocation, that's this last,
Yeah, this have it's the single page with the yellow.
yes,
And this is actually the same as what we used in the last.
I was just gonna ask you that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't change.
This is still, you know, the.
Okay, yes. Okay.
I mean, it might be, there might be more freedom votes at places than
Then we need,
what we might have to have this time, but at least we'll have
Are at that location.
plenty.
So, this is the largest.
Yeah.
And
How many full ones?
I mean, we'll set up,
Any full ones?
I don't know that we need to set up as many at each location though.
The
I
total.
mean, we can always have them there.
I like having them there, but I don't know that we need to set up every single machine in the fairgrounds. You guys,
For.
thoughts?
well, I
Yeah.
mean, who's having a bond issue?
The state.
No, I meant
in
city,
for
Belgrade.
schools is the only bond issue.
Belgrade will need every, Belgrade,
Warren's is a
Warren.
renewal. it's
Well,
not
you're
a
right,
bond
Marietta,
issue.
we might,
I mean, it's.
A
a lot of people come out for school level.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about that, you
Yeah.
might, so it doesn't hurt to do that.
Okay,
It's that month and then.
If they're not used, they're not used.
Yeah.
But, that way our equipment gets tested again.
yeah.
Right, yeah, and that way all of it will get, we'll go through the LNA process.
Right,
Which is
yeah,
all
we'll do
the
that.
accuracy
Right.
testing.
Because if we have them there, how long, I mean, if we have them there and we have to set them up, are we're gonna have enough people there while they're trying to deal with voters to set them up? I think it's best to have them set up.
We set up
That way they're not having to set
Yeah.
up.
We
Because
set
they won't have,
up-
if there's that many people waiting, and they're having to,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, so I
someone's
think
gonna have to set
we
aside
should just
time to
set them up. We should
Okay.
just set them up.
Okay.
Let's not fool
I'll tell
around. We'll
Mike.
just set them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the worst that happens is they don't need them all.
Sounds good.
All right, so may I have a motion to approve the allocation?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Alright,
Aye, opposed?
Yeah,
All right, ballot order numbers.
Well, that's on this. Well, yours, I don't think are common.
But that's okay, it's shaded.
But it's shaded,
Yeah.
And at the end, it's top. Well, the column on the very right is what I'm saying to order for each precinct. And so that's totaled up on the last.
So
page.
this is the order, this is the number of ballots that we need to have in paper at each
That we would
location.
order for paper, yeah, each
Okay.
location.
All right,
And I had on there, because I just used a previous spreadsheet, so it had already on there the registered voters for how many there were in 23, which
Right.
was the last similar
right,
election, which was countywide. But there was you could do an issues only ballot for it, or a Republican, because that's when
well, sure.
municipal,
Oh, no, the
the municipal
municipal
court was on there.
Mhm.
And there was only the two Republicans running for it.
Mhm.
So there wasn't a Democratic ballot then, which we don't have one now here, but. And then I have on there the total votes, just, yeah, for your information if you want to, and then our registered voters we have now. And our handbook says you're supposed to order 5% of your total registered voters. Which I did 5% of the non, because those are people that haven't voted a party. So there's a column for that. And then normally what we do is we order 30% of whatever that is, whatever the 5% is, in paper. Because the rest is, we figure people will be voting on our touchscreens and they won't use a paper ballot.
Did we run out of any paper ballots
Oh, my
last?
We know.
I know, I'm asking for the record to make sure.
I'm glad you asked.
I just wanna make sure, I mean, that's my
But we
recollection.
ordered a lot of paper.
I know we did,
ballots.
well, we had to, but we should,
Yeah.
but we, even in the last election, which was
A large.
a large election, we did not use up all the paper.
No.
No.
Okay,
So this was, so so like the 30% column, you'd see, I mean, that's like 12 for Belpre 1A there is 30% of the 40. So we can't order, the minimum we can order is 25.
so it's 25 and 50.
Yeah. So I went ahead and did it with the ones for Belpre, I put in like 50
Mhm.
because just in case with the bond issue.
I think that's right.
And so the total for everything then was 2,025 ballots altogether.
It's such a waste of paper.
And they usually charge us, it's like 37 cents per page is what it was last year.
And it's a one pager, right?
Yeah. It'll be just like those
Like
ones
that.
there, yeah.
Okay,
Everything was on the front, so there's no backs.
that makes it easier.
Yeah.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ballots.
I move to approve the ballots.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? All right, next we go to Triad printing.
Yeah. Triad did print the, our NCO, well, I call them their NCOA letters, but they're also registration readiness. Letters that'll go out to people who haven't voted, or done any activity for at least 4 years. Some of them might be a little bit longer. So this is to let them know how long they have before they would become deleted if they don't have any activity. And if they send back the letter to us, that counts as an activity to keep them on the rolls.
So how many of those are we sending out?
There was almost 2,500
Okay,
that we were sending.
And
out.
our handy dandy stuffer liquor stamper machine did all of them.
awesome. Oh,
It was
nice.
great.
So Triad printed them, and sent them to us, and then we just put them in the machine.
And there's a return
stuff them.
envelope on there, postage not paid, but there's a return envelope.
So they can return.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, and that's in the bill, the triad there for the $684.60.
That's what that was.
That's how much it
Okay.
costs, yeah, for the.
All right. All right, I'll,
And
do we need to do a motion on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of
I didn't think
information.
so.
But we can get that, we can put in to get that money.
Oh, okay, that would be good. All right, and preventive maintenance?
Yep.
What's that?
Runback came in and did that on our 2 ballot printers that we have with them when he was here yesterday.
That's the one that prints out
Yeah,
those
the ones
things
will be allowed.
by township or whatever?
Mhm.
And is that the one that prints the absentee ballots?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
And he came in and did the preventive maintenance on it. They were updating like our software to their newest version, but they were having some trouble with it because we had to update the computers to Windows 11 first. And that was going very slow. So our IT guy Joseph's gonna work on updating the software once those have updated to 11.
Because we'll be
It's taking
printing
like all
out,
day
we'll be printing our own
yesterday.
absentees. We're not gonna go with the mail company, but.
yeah, well, we don't,
Yeah, we won't. need
we
them.
shouldn't have that many this
No.
time. No, I mean, we should have some.
And that was the $2,000 that we approved. That would have been,
Yeah, that was.
those
included in
services
that.
were included.
Oh, that's included in, okay, good. All right. Poll worker numbers for May 6th.
As of right now, I have 50 poll workers, which
Okay.
is pretty good. I haven't sent out youth at the booth. You wanna look at those?
How many do we need?
I think 100, between 90 and 100. I'm only putting 4 at Lower Salem.
Yeah, we don't need any.
Yeah, you know, the smaller precincts. But some of all of these have come back, have worked in the November election.
Okay.
Some of them are the youth at the booth. Some of them have already responded. But I'm gonna also send out to government teachers, so we should get some youth at the booth. I imagine because they don't let school out on May 6th. They let it out in November. So I imagine I'll get more students that'll wanna work.
Oh, because they get out of school.
Because they got out of school.
And they get paid.
They got out of school on November, but they didn't have to work.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll have plenty. But I've had some people say, put me down tentatively if you really need me, so I think you'll be fine. And plus, I just wonder what turnout.
Should we go
Really
ahead?
5 more.
Yeah, but I'll get students there and we'll be fine.
Should we go ahead and approve these poll
Approve
workers
those-
now?
Those numbers
Let's
now,
let's
if you
do that
would.
now so that
And
we don't
then,
have to worry about it
with the additions.
as we
yeah.
go along, okay.
Or if you're comfortable, we're comfortable, what we could do.
And is the spread
Yeah.
between Dems and Repubs appropriate?
That I haven't looked at yet,
Okay.
but all of the Dems that were first timers last year, not all of them, but several of them have come back.
Okay,
That's good.
So, and the nice thing about them, I try to get a couple because, like I had to take Jim and Rosemary Reed, send them to Warren last year. Because I didn't have enough Dems out there, so we might have to, wiggle our way around. But, I'm confident we'll get plenty. All right, sign back out. Yes. Because we just had training, we do not have to train anybody that just had it for the previous election for November. Obviously, anyone new will have training. So at this point, I'm just going to schedule a couple nights. The youth will have to come in the evening anyways. So I'm looking probably, we start early voting April 8th. So I'm looking at possibly the week of the 21st. I like to have it closer to the, and I think some of our poll workers like it closer to the election day too, so. If you make it too early, figure it out.
All right, well, can I, have a motion for approval of these 50 poll workers?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right. Sunshine law training. So
That's
we,
money.
have we gotten, I mean, no, my Secretary of State,
I need to do it.
and I'm looking at you, getting.
Don't listen, we also have cybersecurity training.
Listen, that was my first training a year or so ago, and it made me nervous as all heck. Cause it gets fishing and boozing, and all these different names, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get them all messed up, but.
Fishing and smishing.
And mishing and coachishing, I don't know, whatever,
Crocheting.
yeah. But would we all have been given a link on our Secretary of State email
I think
or not?
I can't remember if I emailed it, I gave a paper.
I can email it out.
But
Well, we're gonna have to get Jane.
Yeah, she's gotta get.
Yeah.
I have to get an email.
Yeah, she has to.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is, Jane, that they do make it fairly easy to do the training and successfully complete it.
Online.
Because yes, it is all online, you do have to listen to it all, and then, but if you screw up, and they give you a chance to correct it.
That's
So
good
it's
to know.
not,
Yeah, it's not too bad.
it isn't too bad.
I did.
What about sunshine, is that the sunshine law or the?
No, this is the cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity you had mentioned, but what about the
And the
sunshine
sunshine law
law
Sunshine law will
training?
send you the
It'll
link
be
for
the
that.
same.
That's also.
Also, so we have to do both of
The
those, right?
cybersecurity you should have already gotten in your emails,
Recently?
probably, because
Okay.
they send one, I think it's every 2 weeks when you haven't done it,
Oh,
they send it every,
I'll have to get on there.
yeah. It's, Know Before is the name of the company. That it goes through, so it'll say that, I think, in there too. But the sunshine law one I can send out again.
Okay,
It was a little, I haven't done it yet. All of us have done the cybersecurity one here in the office, but the sunshine law one, it's not as user friendly as the
It is
cybersecurity
not.
one.
and do you have to answer questions and stuff?
Yeah, it's just a
It has
three,
little-
but it's-
3 or 4 question quiz
I
and.
mean, I've gone through the sunshine law training before that the AG's office puts on, I'm guessing it's the same.
It's
Yeah,
through them.
yeah.
And you
It's
guys can get
online.
CLEs
Oh, okay, good.
if you need to do that.
How many times can you fail?
They let me go back because I didn't pass the one time.
Yeah.
You only got
haven't done it yet, but I
50%.
think
I'm
you
like-
can. So,
Yeah, they let you go back.
They do,
Yeah,
and correct it, thank goodness.
yes.
All right, expense report.
And that's here, this is our 2024 annual expense report. I didn't print off copies for
Okay.
each of you, but if you'd want a copy, you can have it, but our grand total of expenses came up to $673,482.52.
You know, I really would like a copy of that.
So, yeah, we can give you.
Yeah.
And how did that compare to the budget that we submitted last year, for last year?
It was over what we were budgeted
Mhm.
because of the $60,000 we had to pay to RBM.
Okay,
But otherwise, otherwise it was good. I mean, it was using up all the money we were given.
so we used up the money, so our budget was close?
Yeah, let me print off our one, my one spreadsheet I keep, I can go print it off.
Well, because it'd be nice to know how we did in terms of
Yeah.
projecting our
I'm
budget
very
and
interested in
and what our
seeing all
actual
that.
expenses
Well,
were.
remember we had.
I'm gonna print it off here real quick.
$60,000.
But then we also got reimbursed some, so did that, wonder how much that,
Oops, go ahead.
no, it wasn't enough,
It
okay.
was-
What was the $60,000?
It was a maintenance agreement that we had when we bought these machines in 2019. They gave us as part of the package when we bought the machines, that maintenance agreement for 5 years.
Okay, and the
Our
bill,
5 years came up last year.
and we hadn't paid anything until
We didn't
last year.
have-
Well, it was included in our purchase of the machines themselves.
Okay, But there was a $60,000.
$60,000 maintenance that
That
we
came
now have
due.
to pay yearly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Thank
And it
you.
just-
I needed.
And we
It
put it in
set us
our
back.
budget,
I'm
but
sorry
we
to
put it
take
in our
up time
budget
like
this year,
this.
Yeah,
right?
it's in the budget.
So
Yeah.
we've got it all in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was, it came as quite a shock to us.
Yikes.
Yeah. Also, what
We've
Mandy's
always
doing
been
that.
very good about returning leftover money to
Yes.
the county. Always had a track record of doing that.
And you've always had a track record of having leftover money?
Yeah.
We've given money back, yeah. Because we want to make sure that we have enough to do elections, and if we don't use it all, that's great.
So,
Yeah.
We don't wanna be short.
Yeah,
so we wait
Yeah.
and then
and the commissioners
Return.
appreciate that.
just being good stewards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this year,
Whatever we
we're gonna
don't
get
use.
$100,000 bonus, right?
So
So
the May
we should,
6th election,
so we should be able to,
which I think is more than what we got for the.
I don't remember getting that, like, just like that.
That seems like a lot for
For a
for
primary.
a name.
Is it because of the statewide,
I'm
It's the
assuming
issue.
so, I'm assuming
General
so.
Assembly's
but-
pushing that forward, right?
Maybe because of the statewide
It's a joint-
issues
yeah,
or something.
It's a
I
joint
don't know.
resolution of General Assembly, so they're funding that.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
okay, they got the first strings, they
Yeah.
got the first.
Which is also not uncommon when the state, for whatever reason, decides to have an extra election, which we've had,
Mhm.
they will often then take care of the cost for us.
So that 100 grand will be able to cover more things, so we may be.
And I know
able
you
to
guys have
get
seen this
some more money
1,000
back
times,
then,
but I.
is what that
it'd be
was.
nice.
Well, what we don't use, I think we have to give back to the Secretary of State.
Oh, so we wanna make sure.
That, they always, isn't that correct? Anything that they get, we have to give
Yeah,
back to
we
the
can only.
Secretary.
If you don't use it.
Well, we'll easily spend 100,000 in
We
the,
can only use
May
that.
primary, won't we?
I would think so.
I would think so,
Yeah.
I mean, we can use our salaries.
right, and you can use
You
the,
know, everything on
yeah,
it,
the
so.
poll workers, the whole,
All of the chirping.
yeah, okay.
This was the spreadsheet I normally do, but I must not have updated it completely. Because it still showed some money.
I'll give you this and it's the same thing. I
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Next Thursday, do you want to go to the statewide swearing in, or since you've been sworn in, you're good? Whatever you guys want to do.
I understood that they also have a training associated with it that is not.
I thought it
Yeah,
did too.
do you know anything about that, Jordan? The swearing in and then the training for new election officials at the State House atrium next Thursday?
It's actually not in the atrium anymore. It's moved to another room.
Oh.
And.
Oh, it is, it's at.
And I think they kind of said we had to be sworn in locally. So I think the 13th
Yeah,
is training.
Yeah, we'll do a ceremonial swearing in with the secretary and then we'll go to the Plaza Hotel for training.
So yes, I'm going.
You are going, okay.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to go up with you, or?
No, you don't have to.
Okay,
Training.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, you probably aren't considered.
I've been there since 22, I don't know why they would.
No,
They never had.
This is the first time ever, have they done this?
Yeah, they didn't have it.
Typically during reorganization years?
I wasn't here.
I was, but I don't ever remember this. You guys?
No, I didn't, I wasn't offered it.
You did yours online?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, well, there may have been
Yeah.
online, I will say.
Oh, maybe during
Maybe that
COVID.
was it. one of those
Yeah.
Oh,
online
COVID
things.
probably,
Yeah.
and the
yeah,
aftermath of that.
Yeah,
There was no optional thing for that. It's Thursday the 13th.
okay,
So
okay.
I'll go.
I have already RSVP for all three of us, but I can tell them that just you, unless you want to go.
I don't wanna go,
Okay.
I got plenty of things to do.
So I've already RSVP.
I feel the need to go.
Yeah, I think
Quite
this-
No,
frankly.
try to do it in person training, that,
Yeah,
that beats online.
I just
any day.
wondered since, do you know how you are on credits?
I have no idea.
and you're gonna have to talk to me about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I was okay last year, so obviously this year we'll have
But
to,
you didn't go to the winter
And I
conference.
think,
no, so, but I can view some of those online, which is what I
Yeah.
did last time when I missed one.
Oh, okay,
They allowed me to view it and I got the credits for it.
okay, good.
And then if you go bring one in the summer.
Yeah, I'll go to the summer one.
That's
So that
June
would be-
30th.
Yeah, please
July
say, what is
1st.
it, July, all right.
June 30th and
and
July
what do we
1st.
do to RSVP for that or?
I'll take care of that. I get all of our
Yeah.
hotel rooms.
Oh, okay.
It's at the Hilton.
Easton.
at Easton again.
Okay, I already put that on my,
I think it will probably just be saying
June
more
30th,
times.
July 1st.
I have a.
You have something.
You should already.
Government entities for credit cards, but Huntington still will. So, that would be nice just for the conferences, so everybody doesn't have to put it on their own personal.
Adam doesn't mind paying.
Huh? Adam doesn't like.
I do, but-
So, with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and investigate that further with Huntington.
that'd be great.
And that way we. Also, we had No Ink come in and talk to us.
A couple weeks ago.
Couple weeks ago.
probably.
And they're doing some really cool things. They brought in this guy from.
He has a printing company.
He
I
has
don't
a
remember the
printing
name of it,
company.
But they work with No Ink. I
But
can't remember the name of his company.
one of the things, I mean, I'm not sure that we can get this longer, but one of the things I really, really like that this company did, this is a sample ballot that went out to voters. And if you guys just want to look at that, one of the suggestions they have, and I don't know if in Ohio we can, is that whatever he's in Illinois. Yeah, because
No, they
he
were in,
had Indiana.
Missouri. I think.
Missouri. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, they get the nonprofit mailing. And he says, I don't know why
It's
Ohio
way
isn't doing
cheaper.
that, and it's extremely cheap.
Well, the thing is, you have
As
to,
long as we have this on any of our mailing, it's the US Postal Service knows it has to go through,
And we're required to have that.
and we're required to have it.
Has
so
this been used before?
Not in Ohio, as far as I know.
Where has it been?
That's been, he said, I think
it
they
was
got
in
it,
Missouri.
they Missouri, but
It's
they
not
also
that
did
big
Chicago.
ballot,
Did they see a difference in voter turnout?
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the key.
yeah.
That's the point.
that's the point. Well,
Exactly.
the thing, in order to get a nonprofit, it's an application now and it costs some money. I won't say it's outrageous, but it's like $300 or $400 to get it, I think. And unless you're gonna use it multiple times, it's not that cost effective. But if you were doing a statewide, I mean, I understand it from a statewide perspective, because
Yeah.
clearly that would save you buku money.
Mhm.
I don't, if you call well, you can look it up online and see what the nonprofit rate is, but my understanding, because I know when we sent out the Eve auction invites, for instance, we sent out like 2,000 of them, but the cost of getting the stamp exceeded
The cost of what it was, yeah.
Mhm.
Did it
It
really?
didn't used to be that way. It used to be like $100 or something, or 100 and a
Yeah.
quarter, and you got the stamp and you were good, but not anymore.
Mhm.
And plus they make it harder. You have to apply and do all these hoobie-doos.
So do you have to, you don't have to be a 501c3 or?
Well, that's what you'd have to go online and look, but I'm assuming when they say nonprofit, government's not a nonprofit, so they may count that, but.
See, because this even says Columbus, Ohio, and
So it may, I mean, I'm not, I believe that we would be, we would probably be eligible to apply for that, but I'm
I
not
just,
certain.
have you heard of boards ever doing a nonprofit status on their mailing?
So when they send this out, so you have the Republican, the Democrat,
Yeah.
and or the Independent, or
I just
whatever.
love that part, I mean,
That is
Me
nice.
too.
I really like that.
I look at these lists and the voter turnout and anything to wake people up and.
Yeah.
So
I
do we
think
send
seeing
out
what they're voting
notices
for is
anyway to people?
No.
We don't send, people will ask for sample ballots, we'll send them out. We also put it on our website. And I'm not saying necessarily that, this election, you know, where it's just issues, I mean, still obviously we want people to get out and vote, but, I thought maybe in bigger elections that might be beneficial.
But that is nice. I mean, that's
And it's like the envelope is all in one.
right. It's all there.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a good piece.
yeah, it is a good piece. I liked it. And I mean, that's a lot of information on there, but it's, so.
I just think if you do it once, should we always then do it?
I think you
People
assess
start
the
expecting-
results from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make a difference.
Do we post on our Facebook page links to our sample ballots and things?
Mhm. Yeah, it has just
Yes.
samples just like
Good.
that on.
Cause I think that'll get a lot of folks too.
Mhm. Cause you can even go on our website, there's a button, we have it even on the front, that says, am I registered?
Right, and it
And you
has
put
it
in your
there.
name,
Right.
and then it'll give you your polling place, your sample ballot, you can print off an
You can
application,
click
have
on
a
it,
ballot
show it.
mailed.
But if we do that at various points before an election, then people can amplify it by sharing it and that can be another way.
Maybe we just do it during federal elections.
I think state or
2
federal.
years.
And I think the thing about online is the person has to pursue the information.
Yeah,
Doing it this way, the information comes to them. And they wouldn't have maybe bothered to get on a website.
Well, or they forget that there's an election coming up. I mean, people do that.
well, and they
It's hard
must
to
have
imagine,
central
but they-
voting because it says nearest polling location, so they don't do it by precincts, they have voting locations. So, but I thought it was a pretty neat piece.
Yeah, which we can have our, get printed with, the person.
Yeah.
Well, we could ask them what, I mean, find out what the cost is so that,
Yeah.
when it comes, maybe not this time, but,
Mhm.
Maybe for next year.
yeah, we can look at the cost and what it would take.
Yeah. Was there anything else going with some?
The ballot, the absentee ballot, they were talking about, using them like we used RBM for mailing
Oh,
ballots.
yeah,
That was the
okay.
service they were offering,
Oh,
because they
okay.
mail the ballots for us.
Well,
It was same
Which
as,
we don't expect to
which,
have to do
yeah,
that.
this year it
For
wouldn't, I don't think
another
it cost
presidential maybe.
effective.
Maybe
Doesn't
gubernatorial
happen
next
today.
year.
maybe,
Oh, maybe.
We're gonna have, there'll be,
there'll be something.
because,
We got.
the other thing
three-
about having partisan primaries, people can't change their affiliation.
Right,
So a lot of people will probably want to pick their affiliation. next
That's the
year.
information that's got to get out.
I'm
I know you
singing
have.
it to the.
I know.
all right,
To the world.
Yeah.
anything else?
Our total, or where we are getting money for the May election, it's $102,183.
How do they determine that, by the way?
I think
By
it's
number of
registered
voters?
voters.
Okay.
That's what they use this.
All right,
Is that more than we got in November?
We didn't get, I don't think anything for November, so, and this is, I think the only reason we're getting it this time is because the state bond issue was put on, otherwise we wouldn't be getting it for this one.
Where is it? What is
Just
it? Where is
normally-
it?
We got
Give
some
us
for last, we got money last year.
Just for June.
That's special elections.
You're right, you're right.
What is that number and is it on some of our papers here?
I didn't make copies for you guys, but here was.
all right. I know
And we
you-
have already gotten that money, actually, it's already.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's already in there, great.
It's already in the bank.
Yeah, you're lucky I stopped at the
Yes,
courthouse. I was
let's make-
ready to head down
It's not a good day to go on vacation, but.
Key West, baby.
Let's make sure that we track and,
Yeah,
everything that we're expending for this election, that way we can.
yeah, because we'll have to report it.
So looking at the hours, so Emily needs to be spending some time
But she
away.
is taking vacation next week, or comp time, I'm not sure what she's using, but she's
Okay.
taking the time off.
What is our policy with regard to vacation? Do we have, other than you get vacation, do we have any policy regarding that? Like you gotta use it or?
They used to for comp, not on vacation, but on comp, because the county wouldn't let you carry it off. Well,
The county only lets you do up to 200. but we've extended ours.
I do think that we ought to be more cautious of that, in case somebody would
Walk
need to
away from
leave,
900 days.
walk away. I'd like to see us have something in place.
Well,
that says that
I
needs
think
to be
in
used.
most, in a lot of organizations, it's like, okay, you gotta use it by such and such. Or you can only carry over
So
such and
much.
such.
Yeah,
And if we don't have a policy like that, maybe we should think about that.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I would tell you, it was
obviously you
hard.
would grandfather anybody in to give them an opportunity to use up what they have, but I mean,
It'll
carrying
be
this
easy.
is.
Obviously, I use my time. Of course, I
Well,
haven't been here
obviously
as
you do,
long.
but yeah,
But the other thing is, when you have 3 elections, there's not a lot of time that you can take off.
Right, and that's why.
And that's
We
why
have
everybody's,
extended it
that's why
before,
everybody's
I mean,
is, because they get
that's why
time
we're
and a
doing it.
half. Mandy and I only get hour per
Right.
hour.
well, so we need to figure out how to build that in.
Yes.
I don't know
I
what
do
the
think-
answer is, but we need to figure out a way.
Well, I
to-
think you
Yeah,
can look
some
at other
counties.
organizations, school districts, all kinds of places that employ. And they'll have very nice.
Yeah, so you can only carry over
specified-
so much, and I think,
You can carry 15 years over the next year, 15 days, I'm sorry, over the next
Yeah,
year.
that's-
If you don't use it, 15 years.
Yeah.
I know.
But we should be
Yeah,
good.
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Brainstorm.
yeah, so maybe we can give some thought to that and,
let me
Look at that.
do some investigating
Would-
and
that
talk
would be
to other
nice.
boards and see how they.
and maybe the other
I think you look at
agencies
other
here in the
people's,
county.
Negotiated contracts.
Yes,
And that's where you'll find.
yeah, that would be good, because they
That's where
have
they are.
several contracts in the county, so we can look at that and see what they say about
Okay.
that. And maybe we could be somewhat consistent.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's out
that
there.
number, and if, God forbid, any 2 of them would leave at the same time, would, have other opportunities
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm just saying, that's gonna bankrupt you guys. That's a
Also,
lot to pay out.
I hadn't put it on there, but I thought about maybe we'd wanna raise our food allowance for a conference. We have it $50 now. So that's just something to,
$50
for a day.
for a day.
And you think we need more?
In Columbus,
In Columbus,
That's-
yeah, we've been spending more.
Yeah.
on
And
if we stay downtown in Columbus, you will use that.
some other counties I know did 75, so that's something we can research too.
Doesn't mean we have to
Does that
spend it.
include ice cream?
Includes anything.
No, I just think it's Zelensky.
Oh, did you
at
get in
this
trouble
point,
for ice
so-
cream?
I did like a couple times ago,
Really?
yeah.
And they wouldn't pay
Oh,
it.
office.
That's why we had to change the board policy.
Oh, my goodness.
They wouldn't pay it because it was ice cream?
Yeah, they didn't have lunch,
Yeah,
so
'cause it
they
was
had
like
to
a
stop and got ice cream. 'cause
They
we-
wouldn't pay for
And they
it.
wouldn't,
Yeah, they did.
county wouldn't
Yeah.
pay for it.
Oh, my goodness.
So we changed our policy for that.
Yeah. Well, I get the bar bill, not getting paid on.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
Adam has to take care of the bar bill.
All
But
right.
yeah, I'm glad you noticed that, because that's something I
Well,
wanted to
I mean,
talk
I worry about that in lots of different ways, and, I mean, number one, people need to take vacations, and they need to take breaks to be healthy, I mean, that's
Yeah,
part of it. And, I mean, sick is fine, I'm not trying to mess with that, I'm
No,
only
no,
talking
yeah.
about vacation and comp time, and I think we should think about how we want to structure that policy. I mean, obviously, we'll have to grandfather people in, and I don't have any problems with doing that, but, you give them 6 months to use up to whatever.
A certain amount.
yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
certain amount.
I'd be careful with that too.
Yeah.
With all these.
So if you could do that research, that would be
Okay.
very helpful, Karen, and then, because I mean, it'd be nice to be, consistent with what the unions and other agencies are doing with
Mhm.
regard to that.
That's a 2-party negotiation, so they've come up with.
No, right,
something
and,
everybody
I mean,
can
why, and
handle.
that would be instructive
Yeah,
and
it
help
would
us,
be.
so,
So maybe talk to Pam Bates.
Yeah.
Maybe talk
Yeah.
to one of the
Oh, yes,
girls in the
okay.
commissioner's office, because that's a smaller,
they might have it.
that's
Yeah.
a smaller office, so.
Okay, I will.
All right, anything further?
We might as well look at doing the canvas and everything, so you guys can get it in your calendars.
What is the canvas?
You mean after the vote?
After the election, we have to do that, what, 10 days after?
I think it's, well, they haven't sent out
I see.
My pen's dying.
Thank you. Here,
I didn't know it was. Yeah, I kind of knew we did that. Okay.
let's see if it says,
And then might as well do the audit as well. Also, we'd like, I need to find out if Dennis has it. We'd like for, since we have three in-town people, we'd like to have a D have a key and an R have a key to this building.
Oh, were we gonna change the check signing? For the same reason?
yeah, I need to send it down to tell them about the auditor's
Oh,
office
okay.
now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the other thing,
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we had to do that.
because Robin's,
Now that they'll need copies of this minutes probably.
Probably from it.
Okay, so how many days after?
But we may begin the official canvas within 5 days after. Which is May 11th, but I mean, that would be kind of,
That's a Sunday.
yeah, we don't want to
So
go with
we're
that.
doing May,
early. But we have to begin it by the 21st.
Well, how's
So
the
And we want to
14th?
complete it by the 27th.
so the election is the 6th, right?
Yeah,
How about the 14th, which would be our regular monthly meeting?
We'll just have a long meeting.
it shouldn't be.
It doesn't-
That one
it
shouldn't be too
But this
long.
one, that one won't be so long. The audit hopefully won't be long either.
And what happens on the audit stuff is that we meet, we talk about it, blah, 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 then we leave while they do their whatever, and then we come back.
come back.
So, all right, so
Report.
we've got that.
So you want May 14th for our audit or
Is that
canvas
the
meeting?
next?
That's Friday, the March 14th.
No, May.
I
Oh, I'm
cannot
so
do the
sorry.
14th,
Okay,
and I can't do the 13th. I could do, I'm doing a training, I can do the 12th. Is that too soon?
not for us.
I don't think we'll have that many provisionals, so it should probably be. okay.
Yeah.
So we wanna do the 12th?
And then that'll be sufficient time for mail-ins or anything to return?
Yeah, they have to be returned by
By
the 10th.
Saturday.
Okay, okay.
So,
By that
by May
Saturday.
10th.
And what time is that?
8:30.
So that'll be our regular meeting then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we want to do
Well,
the
usually
audit.
we do election day as our.
Yeah, that's our regular
That's right.
meeting.
Yeah, election day, you have to be here at 6:30.
Yeah, or 6.
6.
Hey, I worked out in the county, I was up and out at 6 more than I wasn't. So.
Ooh, so, yeah, 6.
Okay, so but May 12th is a regular meeting?
That'll be our
It'll
canvas
be
meeting.
the official
Canvas meeting.
canvas, yeah. Where we make the election results official.
Our regular meeting's considered on election day.
You have election day. May 6th.
And then we have to have one after that, right?
The audit has to be within what?
I think it's within 21
I was gonna
days.
say 21. But after, obviously after.
So the
After the
6th,
12th, yeah, 21 days after the 12th.
After the
Make it
12th.
official.
okay, so we are doing the 12th. Then 10 is.
What about,
Will it reach the June 11th, so it would be our regular.
is
Is
that,
that soon enough or too long? That's not 21, is it?
It doesn't mean it could be anywhere between up to 21. 21 would
From
be the
the 12th?
longest, yeah. 21 days after would be the deadline after the 12th. So it can be,
So is June 11th our regular meeting enough?
yeah, it would be. let's see.
no, it's too, June
I think it's-
11th's too far.
That's what I
It's too
thought.
far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can change, and we could change it to like even June 4th, or
Yeah, well, no, that's what we should do.
would that be enough? We can count.
You wanna do June
You'd have
4th?
to do probably
Oh,
June
yeah, that wouldn't
2nd.
even work.
That won't work?
Yeah, so
Fourth one?
21 days is June 2nd.
Yeah.
That's the 21st
That'd be
day.
the latest we could do.
What about that, what about the week of, you guys in the Memorial Week, the 28th?
I'll give the 28th, my arbitration ahead, just so we're good.
What's a Wednesday?
Mhm.
28th?
Yeah, I can do that. Can you do that?
Okay,
Okay, so that's our audit.
28th is audit.
What audit of what?
The.
Sorry,
The election.
but
The election
election
itself.
audit.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
what we do is we draw precinct numbers, select precinct numbers, and then they double check the ballots with the numbers that we reported out to make sure they match.
5%, right?
So that, yeah, and so that's how we verify that the equipment was right and our count was right.
Yeah,
Oh, see.
And we have not had
we
a
randomly,
very,
100%.
we have to take 5%. We have to audit 5% of total ballots cast in the county. We do so randomly until we draw over 5%.
Okay,
So, you get a randomly precincts, and as long as it eclipses that 5%, then we stop. And then they review them, double check.
and that's May 28th, what time?
8:30, all of our meetings. are
Everything's
8:30.
8:30.
Unless we make a quick change.
so we have all the precincts in a box
Yeah.
chain, and Kadeen puts her hand like this and draws, and we all are
Like blowing.
praying that she's gonna draw just enough, so we don't have to do more than we have to, and, yeah.
And we're able to do that because there's physical paper ballots received for every vote cast. So,
Oh,
so
oh, right.
forget about marking devices, it's not purely electronic. And so,
But it makes a record,
It
so
makes
we can
paper
look at
trail.
it.
Got it.
which
We
is
have pictures of it.
further evidence and helps us to verify that, the votes cast are what and cast
With
an
the voter
election.
attendance.
But the board asked us to do a hand count of the audit last year after November, and it took us 10 days.
But it was good.
It was
It was good.
everything.
It was good,
100%.
Oh, wow.
but that's,
Yeah, okay.
so. And there's a
Thank you.
contingent out there that wants us to still use the paper ballots only and hand count only. And that.
But they-
We're always 100%.
Yes,
All
Yeah.
but they've kind of left us alone for a while, so.
And actually, we got kudos from the commissioners last meeting as well, because I was telling them about the possibility of recounts or whatever, and obviously recounts were important during the sheriff's race, and our equipment and our processes worked because Mark came out always 21 votes ahead,
Yeah,
so,
that's wonderful.
yeah,
All right, anything further?
I don't think so.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second that.
all right. Any discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you all. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Maybe we'll see you next time, maybe? Maybe. Oh, so I have to go get my notary, right?
You guys,
For her.
thanks so much on both sides of me.